And I just realized I was muted this whole time. Okay, I will start again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Lava RPC Provider Town Hall, our monthly event where we all gather together and cover all of the latest technical and ecosystem updates and dive into the topics that are the most relevant and important to the Lava RPC Provider community. For those who are new to these events, we do them every month here live on Lava YouTube channel. So if you haven't subscribed to it just yet, I highly encourage you to do that, because this is where we will keep these events going forward and also share more relevant content, tutorials, and things like that. And if you are not a Lava RPC provider just yet, of course, you are still very welcome here. These events are open to everyone. And regardless of your involvement with Lava so far, you are very welcome to listen in. And I'm sure you will learn lots of really interesting things. Today, we have a very special session because we will have a guest speaker, Yair Cleper, who is co-founder and CEO of Magma Devs and contributor to Lava Network. He will join us a little bit later, and he will talk about the recent collaboration with Fireblocks and answer all of the questions that you already sent to me, and also questions that you will submit throughout the stream. And after that, and before that, we will dive into some usual updates, all of the technical updates, all of the ecosystem updates, and network insights, and things like that. So I highly encourage you all throughout the stream to post all of the questions in the chat section, because I will be looking at the comments, at the questions, and if you can share good vibes with everyone here, please use the chat section for that. If there are still any issues with my audio, please write that in the comments again. I just saw that we can't hear you, but I know that I was muted at the beginning. Until then, I will start with some of the usual updates that we cover in these town halls. So I will dive into the ecosystem updates. One of the key thing that I think is the most relevant to you that also just happened is an update to incentivize pools. More specifically, nothing groundbreaking, but we topped up the pools for 30 supported chains on Lava. All of the pools are already topped up and ready for the new Lava month. As I call it, Lava month is 1 month period between It will be July 17th until August 17th, and all of the incentive pools for supported chains are already ready to go. So when the new month kicks in on the 17th of July, there will be over 500,000 Lava available in rewards that will be distributed to all of the Lava RPC providers that are supporting said chains. Another thing that is important for you to keep in mind is that July, or the upcoming Lava month, will be the last month of rewards for a few chains. More specifically, this includes Axelar, Movement, and Cosmos Hub, both testnet and mainnet chains. You will probably get updates from us over the next few weeks until the end of the upcoming month, what will happen next for those chains, because as you probably remember with Filecoin, we extended the incentivized pool quite recently. So same might happen to these chains as well. Maybe it will not, but we will keep you updated and we will let you know what's next for these chains. But for now, keep in mind that upcoming month will be the last month of rewards for these chains. You don't have to do any changes just yet. Please, if you are running RPC providers for these chains, keep doing that. And as soon as we know what's next, we will let you know as soon as possible, definitely before the end of the upcoming month. Next, I'm very excited to finally share that Solana T is finally has the traffic on, and the relays are going because Solana testnet was the last chain that we haven't migrated the traffic before the previous month. So it's finally all working, and the traffic is on. So shout out to, so far, 2 providers, Babyscope and Crypto SJNet, who jumped right into it and configured the providers for this chain. And it would be great to see more providers supporting Solanity, because of course we have only 2, but it's a really, really great start. So thank you so much for being so reactive and jumping right into this. Looking at network stats, it's really great to see how much traffic is going through Lava. I just looked at over the past 30 days, there were 6.5 billion relays serviced on Lava. It's really great to see all of this traffic, and also, of course, it's only due to the fact that Lava RPC providers are doing amazing job servicing all of these 30 chains, as I mentioned previously, at least the ones that have incentive pools. So keep doing the great work. I think I will have time to share one very exciting update as well. So you will see that some new things are coming to Lava as well. But really, really great job so far. And looking at the core chains that are the most active, not a surprise, but Arbitrum, Near, and Base are the top chains of Lava with the most traffic, at least over the past 30 days. Ethereum, Solana are catching up as well. So once again, just wanted to take the time to give a shout out to all of the providers that are doing an amazing job supporting these chains. It's really great to see good service, and we constantly get really good feedback about that. What else do we have? We have some technical updates that I wanted to share to make sure that you are up to date with all of the changes that are happening on different chains. This is not going to be specifically about Lava per se, but about the chains that are supported on Lava. So one important update that I wanted to highlight today is that the Starknet testnet was upgraded to version 0.14. It's very important to make sure that if you are supporting Starknet, that you make that upgrade, because if you don't, then the nodes will stop syncing. So if you haven't done that just yet, this is the best time to go ahead and do that, and make sure that you upgrade to the following versions. So Pathfinder to version 17 and Juno to version 15. I know that Pathfinder as well has a new version, 18, with some bug fixes and improvements. So maybe this is even better version to use, but the minimum is the version 0.17. So make sure to run those upgrades so that your provider doesn't run into any limitations, or if there are no issues with servicing your node and RPC. I think that was the key one. And I also have a bit of it's not really a technical update per se, but something that I think is important for all of you to know. And it just really shows how Lava is supporting different ecosystems out there. Maybe some of you know that Near have started the phased deprecation of its public RPC endpoints. This specifically applies to Near.org and the Pagoda.org public endpoints. And Lava is here to support developers during that transition. And once again, this wouldn't be possible without providers like you, who are doing an amazing job supporting Near. And you know that Lava has incentivized pool for Near, which is sponsored by Near Foundation. And because of that, Lava is able to offer free and public endpoints to developers as a public good. So during this transitional period, because the phase deprecation will take quite a bit of time because they are reducing the rate limits for public endpoints for Near.org and Pagoda.org over time. If I'm not mistaken, the final deprecation will be at some point in September. So until then, developers have to find other RPC providers. So if you are building on Near, or if you know developers who have been building on Near and now are looking for a different RPC provider, I think you can all let them know that Lava is definitely there to support Near developer community, and that Near public and free endpoints are available to all Near developers out there. And now I will just quickly check the chat. It's always great to see all of the messages and all of the reactions from all of you guys. So again, please use the chat. Also, if you have any questions about anything that I have mentioned or anything else so far, while we wait for Yair to join us, I will definitely take the time to answer the questions. But in the meantime, while Yair is joining, I also wanted to share another really exciting update, which is that Lava has signed a partnership agreement with Midnight. So you will hear a lot more details about that and what does it mean to all of you over the coming week or so. You probably know that Midnight is not live just yet, the mainnet. So all of the details about everything will follow up, but we are super excited about this collaboration. And please definitely check the social media, all of the channels on Telegram and Discord for the news about that. And now I see that Yair has joined, so I will add them here. And okay, I think we have you, Yair. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, Justina, how are you?
I'm very good. It's so great to have you at the Lava RPC Provider Town Hall. And I did a very brief intro. I just mentioned that you are a CEO of a co-founder and CEO of Magma Devs and contributor to Lava. And just a quick intro about what I would like to talk about with you is that just a few weeks ago, we made some announcements, very exciting announcements about Fireblocks choosing Lava Network to power secure, highly available blockchain access for over 2,000 institutional customers, which is huge. And more specifically, Fireblocks integrated RPC Smart Router to deliver optimal uptime and user experience. And I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you and talk about this collaboration and also answer some questions that our RPC provider submitted a while ago. And to get started, I would really like to know just a little bit about you and to give our RPC providers a little bit more background of who you are, how did you get into the space, and what do you do?
Yeah, thank you, Justina. Super excited to be here to speak with community. It's exciting days. Bitcoin hit all-time high. We see massive ETO adoption, and it looks like we are back on track. About me, I'm a computer engineer by training. I am 3 times founder, so my background mostly was from Web 2. 4 years ago, I jumped into crypto and found it fascinating. Exactly, actually, 4 years ago, in the NFT summer. It was super exciting times, a lot of new technology, DeFi was building, and I found it super fascinating. How do you get access to all these blockchains? How do you get access? How do you read the data from the blockchain themselves? How do you fetch transactions? And yeah, this is how me and Gil, my co-founder, we jumped into building Magma Devs, who is a contributor to Lava Network.
Amazing. I think I also got into like Web3 and crypto space, at least on professional level, about 4 years ago. So it's almost at the same time. So lots has changed and a lot has happened throughout the time.
We are now OGs.
Exactly. So one thing that I think is important to also set the scene about is what do you think are the reasons why blockchain enterprises like Fireblocks have identified institutional grade RPC as a priority? Like, is there something that happened or changed in 2025 or over the years that made enterprises care about the institutional grade RPC?
It's very funny, as like in every industry that's coming up when building the first steps on internet, or when users trying to adopt e-commerce, building SSL, and like this was the first step in order to make it super accessible. So in crypto, because of the adoption, because of the velocity to adopt new tech, the access part, the read-write transaction, was feeling to us 4 years ago that it was neglected. We've seen that the same problems occur again and again. How do you get access to different chains? You need to run a node. Amazing companies such as Infura, QuickNode, Alchemy, they said, okay, let's do a node as a service. But then there was no one of the enterprise grade users that just took one node and was exactly trusting it. It doesn't make sense that Fireblocks today need to get access to 100 nodes and operate out of these different chains, and they are exposed to RPC downtimes, or even when the latest block is inconsistent. You see RPC inconsistency over the weekend together with Safe, that also felt that they're presenting false information basically to the end users. So very high quality teams like Fireblocks, they needed to jump in and start developing different mechanism in order to get the enterprise grade service. So they were developing kind of load balancers, disaster recovery. They were using different RPCs in order to make sure that they actually have 100% uptime and presenting to the customers. So no one until in the last years was actually developing something bread and butter that gonna help scale, bring availability, uptime, and reliability to those enterprise users. So in the last, I think in the last 1 year, we started having this discussion with Fireblocks when they were seeing a subset of Lava as a smart router. And they were saying, look, you are contributors to the Lava network, but we want to have a tool that we can plug in to our backend, to our servers, will be on-prem, and give us potentially 100% uptime and reliability. We need that across more than 100 chains. We need that with a high performance. We need to make sure that once Trump has a meme coin, there's no downtime there. And this is what they were pushing us, and together we were building that as a design partner. And I think as nowadays, as you see more adoption, more institutional grade service needed, and Bitcoin in all-time high, you're going to see more and more companies that are doing those steps in order to use an enterprise-grade service for accessing all chains.
Amazing. And of course, with the collaboration with Fireblocks, Smart Router is at the core. So what is RPC Smart Router? Can you talk a little bit more what this product is, and like what kind of challenges and issues it is built to solve for the enterprises more specifically?
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, we had last Thursday a call with one of the top exchanges, one of the top 5, and they were telling us that 3.5 years ago, they also started to build that because they cannot just trust one node provider. They cannot even have only their nodes running without kind of benchmarking them. So enterprise, high volume application, they are forced to have multiple nodes provider in order to avoid this downtime and bad service to their customer. So they started building like redundant solutions to that. And if you want to think about the smart router, it was developed by Magma devs. It's an end-to-end tool, plug and play, that can connect immediately to the existing infrastructure of every enterprise. Instead of having lack of trust, it benchmarking a few RPC. You can implement on that the different RPC endpoints that you already use, the different providers, whether you use your self-hosted nodes, and this is kind of orchestration layer that can connect to any provider and any chain. Today there is also a problem. How do I be fast enough to my customers when a new chain is up and coming? I want to to integrate and deploy the access to the chains, to write transactions, to read the data and present in the wallet at the end. So the smart router is automatically routing this traffic to the best RPC endpoint based on the speed, uptime, and availability. So if I'm recapping that, the key features that allow the Fireblocks to adopt it, and also all the other up and coming enterprises, it's that it's plug and play. It can connect to any provider, any chain. There is a built-in reliability mechanism. So from auto failure to error recovery and fresh data, the real latest block, it's the second feature available. At the end of the day, you have optimized performance, right? Because the smart router knows how to route to the fastest provider, and to the CTO, to VP engineering, architect. It gives full observability. So you can see into the infrastructure itself. You can see how healthy is the service that you get there. You can see, you can manage the different networks, the different providers, and first time having clarity about what is the quality of service that you get from the different providers.
Yeah, I think that's so important. And I think this also resonates with Lava RPC Provider so much, because the way they are wired and the way Lava network and protocol is built is that it does favor quality of service. So I think solutions like Smart Router really takes that to the next level as well, because it connects different RPC providers as a whole. So speaking about the exact collaboration with Fireblocks, can you talk a little bit what does collaboration mean to Fireblocks, and how Smart Router address specific technical challenges that they faced with RPC reliability?
Yeah, we can take the example of the case study that Fireblocks announced last week, actually. Was, sorry, 1.5 weeks ago. Oh my God, time fly by. And yeah, you can all look at the case study that we shared together with Fireblocks. Super interesting. And that's also one of the things that brought us to build. Every enterprise customer is building a subset of the Smart Router. And that doesn't make sense, right? So if you think what Fireblocks are doing, they are not a custodian, but they're serving with their MPC technology thousands of different customers across dozen and 100+ chains. So you think about exchanges, market maker, custodian, they are all using Fireblocks. And what Fireblocks did is they were running their own nodes, but using also a third-party RPCs. So it was kind of creating this, complexity bottleneck when needed to show performance and reliability to the end customers. If I'm a customer on Fireblocks and I have a $1 million transaction, I want to see the latest block. I want to see the up-to-date price. I want to make sure that I have real-time access. So the RPC there and the nodes that they're running has to actually deliver this super high time, speed, and accuracy. And basically Fireblocks, because of their reputation, because they using as a very important aspects of the customers, so they cannot let them fail. They cannot have outages. If one of the nodes have been hacked of the third party, obviously they need to make sure that they are the first one to know that, and they can observe and monitor discrepancies, right? So this is what was, in general, gave us the idea to push and build a holistic product, a RPC Smart Router that's going to allow any customer to plug and play it and connect the ongoing endpoints. So basically, as a recap, it's a seamless integration, and for all the existing providers, RPC providers, routing traffic between them and maximize uptime and reliability.
And is there a specific depth, because you mentioned any kind of team, but are there any examples that you can give of other teams, either in the industry or maybe in general, that would also, you think, really benefit from solutions like Smart Router, like, for example, DeFi, AI agents, wallets, and things like that?
So Fireblocks is the first customer that we published, but obviously behind the scenes, we're working on other announcements with different customers. So we customize the same product to exchanges, to market makers, to custodians. All of them, at the end of the day, they need high throughput, and they have internal products and tools that they need integration. So on the one hand, they need a plug and play integration. They cannot mess around with the infrastructure. On the other end, they need to make sure that is 100% uptime, and that this kind of holistic product is delivering the results and the performance that they need. We've been approached by institutions, even foundations that running their own public RPC, ask us to explore this collaboration with the Smart Router. Obviously, the smart router is coming built in with the Lava RPC, and this gives the ability to the community and everyone around the Lava providers to be exposed to more chains. So what we see with Fireblocks is that they deploying the integration for new chains, and obviously when Lava Network, the RPC provider, is the first one, it can be a really game changer.
Amazing. This is a really good segue into some of the questions that we got directly from providers, because actually the thing you mentioned about Lava endpoints being integrated into the smart router, it's I think related to what our providers really wanted to know more about. And specifically, one of the most common questions from providers were, do we expect to see more traffic going through Lava? So I think you sort of answer that question, but maybe you can expand a little bit, like what kind of effect you think, if any, integrations like this have on traffic going through Lava network.
Justin, I think you are very close to what's going in the Lava Foundation, so you can tell yourself how many requests you're receiving, the trends, and obviously how appetite is it. I can give my 2 cents about how I think the vision will be, and is more that we're going to more the steps that we're going into more institutional adoption. At the end of the day, everyone needs the access. We are building now the standard of how application, AI agents, exchanges, Fireblocks we get access to blockchain. And I believe that in a few years, nobody will think even about nodes anymore. Nobody will know why they need to spin up nodes. It's going to be the AI agents who's doing that, but also the AI agent will use this kind of Lava Network RPC marketplace because the supply and demand. It's because it's very easy and because it just simply works. So I think when more demand is coming over time, more supply is needed. So as the goal now of Magma Devs is to make sure that the smart router will have adoption in any segment of crypto. And obviously, as when the adoption grows and the Lava RPC is the default, more and more providers will be needed in order to serve those rewards.
And a related question to that, as we already discussed, that Lava endpoints are included into the smart router, and users of the smart router, they can, if they want to, they can use Lava, they can use their existing RPC providers, for example, QuickNodes, Alchemy, and all of the others. So the question that I got from our providers as well was, how does smart router determine which provider takes the traffic, and how Lava is ranking against other provider companies? I guess the question here is, how smart router chooses the endpoint to route the traffic to, and how we can ensure that Lava providers are doing the best job that they can to also service the traffic if possible.
So imagine that you have now a monitor that's seeing also how good, what is the performance of every node provider that you plug and play to the smart router. It obviously is customized, right? It's flexible. So you can define, I want to have the best, the fastest. I want to have only a quorum of 3 nodes before I accept or send the transaction. All of these are features that were initially built internally in the Lava network, and together with the smart router, we just built it as a product. So all the amazing features that we're building by the community and by Magma devs from the get-go about speed, availability, the scoring mechanism, and the quality of service will be also used in the smart router.
Amazing. So I think my last question is what's next? What's next for Smart Router? What's next for Lava Network? Some thoughts from you would be super, super appreciated as a Lava contributor.
Yeah, so there are some really cool features for the smart router that we've seen and deployed recently. There's the cross validation, the quorum of different nodes, the plug and play mechanism to any chain, and basically the ability to simplify integrating of new chains. Fireblocks was reporting back that this time to integrate new chains was decreased by 80%. I believe 2025 in general in crypto will be the year of the utility, right? And the more demand is coming, the more usage you have to your product, at the end of the day, that's what's going to be important for the blockchains. So what I'm trying to work on in Magma Devs is to answer all the demand that's coming up with the recent smart router. I believe that if the future going to continue like that, more banks, more super trading platforms from Web 2 will come and join crypto, and they will need this scalable infrastructure. So that's what we're building for them, and that's what I see our collaboration internally with the Lava network.
Amazing. I'm really excited. I'm excited about the work that has been done so far with Smart Router. I think it's such a big step towards the better, stronger infrastructure. And I'm sure there are a lot of really exciting announcements coming up. And yeah, those were all of my questions.
Yeah, you see also if we can touch upon SAFE, what happened in the weekend. Well, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it just shows how fragile the infrastructure that a lot of teams use is, and how what kind of effect it has when RPC goes down.
100%, yeah. I remember the first discussion we had with the SAFE team, about the inconsistencies of RPC. I think there need to be a standard in the industry of how do you use RPC, because what happened in 2022 when the bear market came is that it was a race to the bottom. Everyone wanted more cheaper, more unreliable, and there is a trade-off for that, right? So when there is this kind of play, we all get risking our infrastructure, our wallets, and our assets at the end of the day. So if we are able to join together different providers and define standards of how RPC in general looks like, not only different WebSockets, gRPC, but also threshold, SLAs, this kind of how executed transaction quorum looks like. Those are the building blocks of crypto. And if we neglect them now, they will come much more stronger in the future and burst in our face. So I think we need to make sure that RPC is not flaky or out of sync, and this is what we've seen over the weekend together with SAFE.
And it's not the first time when we see cases like this. So I completely agree that it's crucial to really address the shortcomings of the current infra. And here again, I just always want to make sure that Lava RPC providers understand what kind of great job they do with supporting so many chains, and how Lava Network enables them to compete with like really reputable and big RPC providers out there. So I think the future is bright, and the things that we covered already about Smart Router and all of the improvements on the infra, I think is just the beginning. And I think we're going to see a lot of really big change.
Then you have new collaboration also together with Thrive and other protocols that speaking directly with foundations. Yeah, I really looking forward to what the Lava Foundation is preparing for us.
Same. I'm very excited. And Ohad just wrote a really good comment that market is discovering that a backup RPC isn't enough, and if you don't have the right orchestration mechanism in place, basically have to address that. So yeah, well, thank you so much, Yair. It was so great to talk to you. Thank you so much for sharing all of the insights about the work that has been going on your side, and we're going to wait for all of the exciting news and updates on what you're working on with Magma devs and all of the improvements that we're going to do on Lava Network side as well. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think this is where we are going to finish because we already covered all of the updates before. The last call out for any remaining questions. I think I saw one question about Union, which is a really great question. So the question was, are we going to support Union from the mainnet launch? And the answer is yes, we are preparing for that, but Union mainnet is not live yet. So we are getting ready, but you will hear from me right away when we are going to have everything set up for you to service Union through Lava. In the meantime, of course, it would be great if for Union, and the same for Midnight, the announcement that I made previously, if you could also, of course, spend time familiarizing with the ecosystem, with the processes of servicing the nodes, and also if you have any introductions that you could do for us for both Union or Midnight, it would be really great because we would love to also build out our collaborations with these chains, but also other projects out there as well. So thank you so much. It was a really, really great town hall. Once again, thank you so much to Yair. And as always, I will see you all in a month. In the meantime, if you have any questions or requests for the next town hall, you can always reach out to me. I am available on Telegram, on Discord. Just look for my name, Justina, and you will find me there, and also on socials like Twitter as well. So thank you so much for your time. I'll see you in the next Lava RPC Town Hall. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and until next time.